Drew's drive and charisma has filled stadiums, inspired Special Olympics athletes to be their best on and off the field. I'm very excited to talk more about your involvement in the Special Olympics. But first, I would love to hear more about your WWE career.
I released a book over the past couple of years called A Chosen Destiny. My story, where I included a little story at the beginning that my dad loves to tell everybody constantly. I've heard it my whole life, especially since I've been involved in WWE. As apparently when I was 6 years old, I held a family meeting with my mom, my dad, my brother, and I told them, one day I'm going to be a WWE wrestler. And of course, my parents said, okay, Drew, no problem, because kids say the darndest things. I want to be a wrestler. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a soccer player. I want to be an American football player. I want to ride a Tyrannosaurus Rex professionally. And parents will say, no problem. And eventually they'll deviate from the plan. They'll go down a different avenue. But I knew that's what I wanted to do from the first moment I saw it on my TV screen. I told my parents that. I believed that I was going to do it. And at 15 years old, I convinced my mother to let me go to the wrestling training. Stuck in at school the whole time. I always preach education is absolutely paramount and number one. And at 21 years old, I was very fortunate that I got my degree from university in criminology and signed by WWE the very same year, which is very cool. So if you believe in something enough, no matter what it is, you work hard enough, especially the self-belief, as you know, you can do anything.
How did you learn your signature move, the Claymore Kick?
Was in a group called 3MB. Myself, Heath Slater, and Jinder Mahal. Our characters were 80s rock stars. We played no instruments. We pretended we played instruments. We couldn't sing. We're basically like the movie Bill and Ted. And I wore these tight leather pants that the rock stars in the 80s used to wear. So when I ran to deliver one of my maneuvers, the big boot, when you run and kick your opponent in the face, I realized that the crotch was not going to be able to handle that kind of movement. It would have split and it would be very embarrassing on live television. So in the moment when I realized my leg was in the air, the crotch was going to split, I kicked up my other leg to avoid that happening, hit my opponent with the Claymore and landed in my own head, knocked myself silly. And when I got to the back, one of the agents in the back told me, if you can figure out how to do that move you did accidentally without hurting yourself, you've got a maneuver. And eventually I became the Claymore and eventually it won me 2 world titles. So I like to say tight leather pants equals world championships.
What does inclusion mean to you?
I guess inclusion means to me being part of a team and being something that's greater than yourself.
Thank you, Drew, for joining the Inclusion Revolution podcast. We are so thankful for your dedication to our movement and being such an incredible leader. We are rooting for you to dominate at WrestleMania 38.